We both have those same understandings of what it means to be dancers and what it means to be part of the community. All we want to say is, wow.
Wow!
Welcome to Dance Specific Talks. This podcast is made for us dancers, and our goal here is to inspire dancers from all over the world to become better, both on and off the dance floor. We want to provide you with a platform where we dancers can share and learn from each other. So let me introduce to you your host for this podcast, Teaser, and remember as always, by dancers, for dancers.
What's up, party people, and welcome back to another episode of your favorite dance podcast, Dance Specific Talks. Today, we are going to interview two female artists that are both lead and follow in the Kizomba scene. We're going to interview no one else than Bianca and PJ.
Ik vraag je why, zag dit niet aankomen. Nu kom je toch aanlopen. Volgende keer daar kom ik op tijd. Blijf ik met de tombek. Wil niet dat je omkijkt, nee, ik wil dat je naar ons kijkt. Dagen kunnen dom zijn, dagen kunnen stom zijn, maar ik wil dat je omkijkt. Wil dat je naar ons kijkt. Ook al is het laat, baby blijf wakker, ik ben al in je straat. Ik kan het fokken net als al die stars. Kom dan moet je klappen tot de morning komt.
So what do you need to know about these two artists? Well, first of all, Bianca is from Canada and PJ is from France. They have met through the Kizomba scene and have shared the vision of creating a new reality for the female artists and dancers within the Kizomba scene. We are going to talk to them about how they started, but also about what they are doing next, as they are organizing a brand new event together coming 2023. So now, plug in your headphones, and now, let's get it going. Welcome to this interview, Bianca and PJ.
Yay! Thank you.
This is a double-streamed podcast. You guys are in different countries. Bianca, where are you located right now?
Right now, I'm in Malmö, Sweden.
And PJ, where are you located?
Just next to Paris in France.
Wow. It's so amazing that you two are doing so much together, even though you're not located in the same country. Thank you, internet and the world, for providing this. As a little icebreaker for people to get to know you a little bit more, Bianca, what is one of the most courageous things you have done lately?
Lately?
Oh.
Wow, that caught me by surprise. I was like, courageous things. I'm like, I know what a courageous thing I've done, period, in terms of dance has been, but lately.
Yeah, but that's fine. You can take that. Whatever.
I guess for me, the biggest courageous thing I've done with dance in my life has been moving from Canada to Europe with a one-way ticket and not really having a plan and just kind of being like, I'm going to travel around Europe and dance. And then I kind of fell in love with it even more. And then I stayed in Europe. And then I moved to Sweden, of all places, where I never imagined myself to be. And I've been there for on and off for like since 2018, I guess.
Wow.
So I kind of left my entire life, packed up my bag in like a carry-on suitcase from Canada, and then I've just kind of recreated my life here.
Wow, that is amazing. I'm going to come back to you about your story in Canada as well. So PJ, what is one of the most profound learning moments you have had about yourself lately?
Okay. For me, it was, I think, last summer, because I did a road trip in the France, and I moved city from city. And this was something that for me was really difficult to do, because meeting people you don't know, or maybe asking them to be at their place and sleep around, that was something that I feel like I was not capable to do, and actually I did it. So I was really proud of it. And yeah, that's something that, okay, I can go, I can meet people I don't know, I can talk with them. And yeah, that bring me a big, better self-confidence.
Yeah. Isn't it funny how when we talk about courageous things or growth, it's all connected to us getting out of our comfort zone and doing something that we never done before. And it's like what I feel is when we actually move away from our country or travel or meet new people, it's really like the brain creates new neuropathical
Yeah, exactly.
paths. Yeah. And
Yeah.
I think that that is very much in line what you two are doing right now, because you are walking into a completely new chapter where
Yeah.
not only are you dancing, but you are also organizing something new. And that is what we're going to talk about a lot this episode. So just to kind of give a background story of your way into the Kizomba scene, Bianca, why don't you start? Did you start in Canada? How did you find the style? And what made you transition to move to Europe?
Yeah, so back in 2016, I was in my second year of university in Calgary, and I went to the student dance club. And I tried out the classes because they had like a little trial period for free. And I tried bachata, I tried salsa, I tried kizomba, tango. And while I had listened to some bachata music and salsa music before, kizomba was something new. So I actually chose to take the kizomba class. And I started going to parties locally run by the student dance club. And basically, I started with all of them at once. So salsa, bachata, and kizomba all together, learning all of them simultaneously. And I just kind of fell in love with kizomba a little bit more through it all. And then I had some experiences where I went to Toronto and Montreal and really experienced the culture there a little bit more with kizomba. And I was like, whoa, I can travel, I can dance, and I can meet new people through dance. And that was my first aha moment where I was like, this is a cool way that I can see the world and make new friends through something that I already know how to do. So that's why for me, it was easy to kind of come out to Europe. And it felt like I was in this kind of cycle of like doing the same thing again and again every day. I was teaching swimming at a pool at the YMCA, going to classes. And then in all of my free time, I was just like dancing every single day I could. I started to teach and assist different people that were teaching classes at the student dance club. And eventually it was just like, okay, like I just got to a point where I was decent enough at dancing in the community that I was like, okay, I'm kind of good. Okay, let's see. So when I finished my undergrad, I was like, okay, I'm 21, time to leave home. I've been living with my parents all my life. And I'm like, can I do this? And so what was supposed to be a half a year trip in Europe turned into a 2-year trip in Europe. And then COVID kind of brought me back to Canada after a while. But in that 2 years, man, it so much changed. Like I met so many new people, and really the dance community can connect you to the most incredible, amazing, like warm-hearted people in the world who are just like ready to take you in and say, hey, you need a couch? Come, I've got a couch for you for a couple of days, or whatever it could be. And so, yeah, that's kind of been my journey with traveling and my shift. But I've always felt a pull to Europe. I think maybe because I was born in Romania, that could play a role in it. But it's always been like, my heart, I need the excitement. I need the diversity and variety that Europe has to offer, with the countries being so close and the travel being so easy to go from place to place.
Yeah, that's amazing. Funny enough, I was visiting Calgary like back in 2012, and I was like, wow, people are, I mean, it's a little bit like North Americanized, but very much similar to Sweden in a lot of ways, as the outdoor, the Banff, where we went to the mountains and I saw people rafting and I was like, oh, okay, well, I could definitely live here. It's like a little bit of an upgrade kind of thing of, just more people. But still, I really liked the people in Calgary. So warm and so much, people just saying hi. And I was like, oh, yeah, this is a great place. So funny enough, I didn't know you were from there. That's nice. That's
I
nice.
guess I found the European version of Calgary
Yeah,
in Sweden.
I think so.
And a little bit more bikeable, which is what I like here.
Yes, down in the south of Sweden, there is a little bit more flatness going on than in the north. So yeah. Well, that's interesting. All right. Well, we're gonna come back to the specific style of Kizomba, but I always love to hear these stories because it's like one small decision of taking a tryout week can change your entire life if this lifestyle of dancing is something for you. And I hear it over and over again when you're a part of a community. This hospitality, this couch surfing, it's just a part of it because everyone is traveling for dance. So yeah. Well, PJ, how about you? Where did you find Kizomba and what made you go for it and get stuck in this Kizombi world?
That's was a choice too. I discovered Kizomba in 2012 and it was okay, I need to try this dance, okay, and I love the music, but I wait until 2016 to start. I have like a really bad year in 2015 and I needed to do something for me. So I tried to search classes of Kizomba, and by luck, I had like just next to my door a class of Kizomba with Isabelle and Felicia.
Oh,
so
nice.
Yeah, but actually, then it was also they weren't there a lot. So when I came, it was okay, you're gonna have Samba class. Okay, I don't know Samba, no, Samba Brazilian, no. So I did some of the dance, and then I found another place where there was salsa and bachata, and just a little bit of Kizomba. And I discovered Akima, and then I tried to follow her, to follow where she was teaching. And I find out that she was giving classes just next to my study school. And I was, okay, lucky again. I can go to class and then I can do Kizomba on the nights. So, and it was just a big place in Paris, in Ile-de-France. It is the Parc Football, so it's really well known. And I didn't know yet at that time, but there was party almost every night in the week. Wednesday, Thursday, Friday. And so I started over there with getting into the world of Kizomba, but with the big door, you know. Everybody was going at this place all the time. And so, I started to meet people, and then I started to get into a team, the team of the Parc Football, and investing myself in it little by little, and growing into this world, meeting awesome people. And then after parties, I try to level up again with training and with meeting Steffi and Valère, and going like that step by step. And at first it was just, okay, I want to learn more and I want to learn again. And okay, and these people bring this notion to me, and learning and discovered the world of Kizomba again and again.
That's beautiful. I feel a little bit jealous about people in Paris because I just feel like the variety and the amount of dancers, but that's also why people from all over the world go to Paris. And I remember that actually the Swedish followers were very early on going to Paris. And that's why in the beginning, Sweden was known for their followers rather than their leaders. because everyone went to Paris. So it's interesting to hear someone that actually had the access to everything on their doorstep or by your school. And it seems like you're representing your country as well in the best possible way. So that's so dope. That's so dope. And just both of you, I'm going to throw it out there as a question, but what is it with Kizomba? What is it that made you stuck with it? Where some people, they fall in love with the music, some people fall in love with the people that are in the community, some people fall in love with the way, you know, the feeling you get when you get into like a basement and there's just people sweating and there's like some DJ. What was it that captured you? But also, most importantly, what kept you? Because some people also get in and they go quickly out. So what made you fall in love with specifically the style, and what have kept you in the scene?
Okay. I guess one thing that I've always said, because I actually love Kizomba and Bachata equally. I love the music and the dance. And it's really difficult for me to really make choices between the two, but I have very much so chosen Kizomba for a lot of it. But I always said Kizomba is my connection and Bachata is my soul, because they play to different pieces. And when I hear Kizomba music, I just feel like a different connection to the ground, a different connection with myself. And when I'm with my partner, it just becomes a whole thing just around connection. And I think the other thing that I really love about it that has been able to keep me in it is that it's so versatile. It's not just one style. You have a variety of music. And as much as I love the old like Kizomba, I really love this new stuff that's coming out now that's a little bit more Afro beats, a little more playful. And then you have everything else in between. And you come to realize that we actually had this little thing, me and my friend Erin in Canada. We would go to parties where, you know, we knew that they were not going to play Kizomba because the community was majority salsa bachata. But even so, we knew that we could always just dance to whatever music was playing because you could do that. It's the magic of Kizomba that you can dance it on whatever music, so long as you can hear and you have a musicality within you that understands how to step and how to move to the different parts of the music. I think you can dance it to any music.
That's beautiful. I really, really like that. And I also think that you're emphasizing on the groundness and what happens with that is also really also what I can really relate to. That it really makes me feel like I'm one with me, one with ground, one with my partner, one with the music, one with the moment. And it really creates that bubble of like, it's almost impossible for me to not be in this moment. So yeah, I love that description.
There is one thing I would like to mention though, and it's that I think part of that understanding of it is that I started with Kizomba. So I didn't start with Urban Kids or Tarasho or any of the other styles. I started with Kizomba, and that allowed me to have that understanding of the dance and also the culture that comes with it as well. So I always have that at the back of my mind, regardless of which way I'm dancing it.
Yeah. I really think that that's a dope thing because when we started with urban, and I think that for us it was more like an experimental version of hip hop in couples when I started with my crew, and we have had to relearn all the Kizomba basics, and the way I dance urban today is very, very different now when I understand basics, foundations, and techniques. You know, like I thought it was only a technique of leading and following, but there is also techniques of how to execute the steps. And I think it gets a little bit lost, unfortunately, in the urban scene. So we're on the way. We're on the way to relearn and get better and fill up our own cups. So that's really dope. And for you, PJ, what was it with Kizomba that made your heart spark, and what kept you in the scene?
First, I was really attracted by the music and the fact that the dance is not something like the dance de salon. I don't know in English the words, but there is no really basic step. It's always improvisation. So that was something that I learned from the top, and that makes me also feel free, because I can do whatever I want on the music, but connected with someone. And yeah, so first of all, it was, okay, this is something about, Kizomba means party and social stuff, social meeting people. But it's also a dance that you dance in the street. So for me, it was something that attracted me. And then the way I feel by dancing, this is something sometimes you don't are conscious, you're not conscious about it, but you really feel relief, relax, and into the moment. It's like a meditation. For me, it's like meditation to connect with a partner and to be in the present, to be in the moment. And so yeah, that's something that I really want to experiment all the time. It's always new, always with another connection, something happening differently, and with actually, and the fact that then after I can expose myself, I can dance on what music I want. It's all the part that's Kizomba, the big world, and you can evolve always in the dance and for yourself too, learning about you first.
Yeah, I think that it's like an endless learning, right? Because as Bianca said, also the music has changed, and so we also are now adapting to new rhythms, new grooves, and new ways of listening to the music. We have new DJs that are also trying out new things, which also makes us develop. So I'm so excited to see where this scene is going to be in like 10 years, because we have barely had it for 10 years, as in most of us started around 2014, 2016, like you guys. And it has happened so much, and it hasn't even been 10 years. So I'm very excited to see where it's going. And also, I'm just wondering if we're going to sit here when we're like 70 and still talk about that we're dancing Kizomba. Is this going to be a style that we can actually execute until we are old? Because if you look at tango, for example, there is like really not an age limit in that sense. So yeah, who knows? Maybe we have a long future to go.
I mean, so long as you can stand up.
Right?
Dance to dance.
Yeah, a little suave, a little shadow,
Just a little side to side.
So now we want to talk about the women, because I don't know how it was for you when you entered the scene, but I really had so much focus on the leaders at the beginning, because I really just wanted to become a better follower. That for me, the women were like something that you connected with when you walked into the door and when you stood on the side and waited for your next dance. And the disconnection that I personally felt with women was a little bit, it was a little bit large at some point, where I'm like, I don't even know their names. I don't even really see when they're dancing, because I'm just so busy trying to learn this dance. How has your relationship with other women in the scene looked like when you started and today? Has it changed? Has it been a complete positive experience? Or how has your relationship with the females in the Kizomba scene been like for you guys?
Great question. For me, I entered the Kizomba scene as a follower, and I had the same motivation: be a better follower and understanding the maximum notion that came from the leader. And I was always putting myself in question. Okay, what do I do wrong? How can I be better? How can be more sensitive to the leading? And yeah, I try to experiment all the question to my dance, and the fact that I always danced with men, it was also only putting myself in question and not the leading part in question. So it's kind of really difficult for self-confidence, because this is always your fault. This is also a lot of consideration in the when you talk with women, you're always like, okay, this is a good dancer, this is a good dancer, but you're not putting yourself in value. It's like, okay, maybe I'm a good dancer because he's leading well, not because I'm following well. So it was something that I really try to understand, that okay, what makes you a good follower on your own, okay? And then I really, when I entered Valor and Steffi's team, I was the first lady in the team. And for me, it was really essential to have lady in the team. It's like, okay, this is a couple dance, so it's 50-50. If you only have men in the team, what the purpose? So, and there was also on the same wave as me. And I really fight for girl in this team, because for me, it's really important. If you don't have girl or women in the scene, men can dance. They can't dance alone. So that's why I really fight for the women consideration, first on the team and then on the dance floor everywhere, to make the ladies really well. And now that I lead, I always say, okay, you're not mistaken. You're just dancing, and this is just another vision that you have on the leading interpretation that I sending you. And so it's just a discussion. If you have a word wrong, this is not a mistake. You're just speaking, okay? So yeah, I love to compare Kizomba to like the couple dance, to a discussion, because this is all the same. You just try to make yourself understand, and then when she understands, she responds.
Mm.
So yeah, the feeling that we're not good enough, and we always want to have the good dancer, and the fact that after that I switch the roles and I try to be leader, it make it like a boom in my brain, because I could see the both side, and the fact that okay, this is not something really big if she do a tape on the side, and that was not planned, okay? And this is also a big deal to be a leader. So be more tolerant as a follower, and yeah, experiment the two roles, while was really making myself understand that, okay, 50-50 in the job.
Yeah, to really have that conversation and to really have an open mind as a leader, because yeah, every follower is different, and she or he as a follower will bring something different to the table as well. So yeah, that's really cool. And I think it's interesting to hear when followers step over to the leading side, which I am still not completely confident in, and see how it actually changes. You start seeing things from a different perspective. And we're going to get in more to that. And so, Bianca, how was your relationship? Like, you also, I assume, stepped in as a follower. And how did you relate to other women in the scene? How did you have a relationship with them?
Yeah, so I mean, my community is definitely smaller where I started. So it was very easy actually for me to quickly become one of the best follows in this entire city. and this is not to say, like, this is not to be like, oh, like, look at me, I'm so awesome. But the community was just so small that it was very easy to become good, especially if you spent a lot of time dancing all the time. But it's true, I did not really get to know the women. I was always dancing with the men. And actually, even when I started to lead, which was, I started leading in the classes because there were always like a lot more women than men. So for me, having taken the same beginner introductory class workshop before a party again and again and again, I'm like, why am I still doing this as a follow when I can do it as a lead and dance throughout the entire class, learn something different? I can do it too. And that's kind of where it started. And I started to interact a little bit more with the women, but still it didn't actually create that bond as easily as I had it with the men who I was dancing with all the time. And because I was always getting, compliments like, wow, you're so light, it's so lovely dancing with you, I was just like, okay. So I would just, and honestly, I'm as social as I am now. I was very introverted when I was going to dance, to like the dancing stuff. I was like, I'm going to this party to dance. And my parents would be like, so who are you going with? And I'd be like, myself. I know people that are going as well, but I'm going by myself. I don't know who's going to show up. I know I'll know some people. And I would just go to the party. Lo and behold, a bunch of people that I know. It was the conversations are very much like, hey, how are you? Good. How are you? You want to dance? Yeah, let's dance. And that was it. So it was a lot of like dancing. At the end of the night, I'd be like, great, see you guys later. Boom, out the door, back home, go sleep, because I had to do this again the next day, school and, schoolwork and dance. But this took quite some time. Like this was only maybe after 2 years going into my third year of dance that I actually started to really get to know some people, to really make some friends. And there were just like a couple of girls in the community that were like, hey, do you want to come out with us? We want to have like a group of girls that kind of go out and dance together all the time. So, I mean, I had like a little group of girls that I was always with. And we sometimes would dance with each other once we started to learn to lead, because it was a little bit more comfortable when we were going to maybe like a bar than to dance with the guys who were maybe drinking and there to party rather than to dance. And we were just like, we just want to dance every day. But now, when I came out to Europe, again, I started into that again. So I, again, didn't know any of the women. And now the community is even bigger. So I really have no opportunities to get to know anyone that well, unless I'm like rooming with them for like a festival. So that's the only way that I was getting to know some of the women. But lately, since I really, really started getting into leading, which was probably like 2019, I guess, that's when it really like started going up. I'm like, okay, I get to know all of these women now. The other thing that shifted it was when I started teaching, and I was so keen on teaching women. I was like, I really hated the fact that when I go to class, I was not getting any information for me as a follow. And I had to start thinking about, okay, what does it say? What are they saying for a lead to do? Okay, what does that mean for me as a follow then? And starting to build my knowledge base as a follow from that mindset, which I was like, I shouldn't have to be working this hard to learn how to follow. So for me, it was really important that I create my entire pedagogy of teaching is focused on how do you follow? And not just follow, but how do you connect? How do you follow? And how can you bring in your own musicality to the dance? So when I started teaching women, all of a sudden I had an entire class of women like looking at me and saying, teach us what you know, and wanting to interact with me and dancing with me. And I was starting to build the relationships that way. And it led to some of the most beautiful relationships I've ever had. Some of my best friends have come to me through the dance.
Yeah.
And I mean, when we get to know each other, it really opens the door to so many cool things.
Yeah, and also how much of this the same type of insecurities that you also mentioned, PJ, like what am I doing wrong, or is it me, or is it the leader? And when we start talking to each other, suddenly we're like, oh, okay, it's not just me, and it's maybe by me talking to her or whatever, like this helps. And I have also lately, especially since I got to know more women, I am like the hype woman on the side, filming all the time. And that is mostly also because I want to film the women, and I want to be like, make him sweat, or like, yeah, don't kill him now, And that is mostly because I really want them to feel that they are also in charge of making that dance awesome. And I always have the connection with the women, because then they are afterwards coming like, hi, I saw you filming, like, could you airdrop it to me, or could you send it, and so on. And that creates also the connection. I just had that same now, like I did that with one of the women in Istanbul, and now she's like, I'm in Amsterdam, where do I go to dance? And I'm like, awesome, cool, this is how we exchange Instagrams, because it's not by intention I have like 4,000 male connections on Facebook. Is because you always exchange Instagrams afterwards. And I think that those little moments of like connecting with someone, just having women ask like, where did you buy your shoes? And be like, AliExpress, girl, it's the deal. So those little moments have like started to create those relationships that you then also mentioned can be relationships and friendships and support and safety. First of all, like, yo, when you come in, like, don't sit over there, sit with us, be with us, let's go together, let's get the card to this festival, and just create that safety around that you're not alone. So yeah. You good? Okay, cool. Nice. So now we're gonna get into the exciting times of this coming year, because you two are planning something completely new. I don't even want to reveal the name, because I kind of just want you guys to talk about what are you cooking up? What are you planning? How did you come up with the name? And what is it that you're actually gonna do?
All we want to say is wow.
Wow. Where to start? Where did it start? You two met somewhere, somehow. How has it started for you two coming together, creating something, a new event together?
We actually we met before we actually met. So we danced at a couple of parties before. But we only met this last summer when I was down in the south of France, and PJ was also there. And we actually had an opportunity to talk, get to know each other, and really see that we are very much aligned in our pedagogy and our understanding of the world of Kizomba, even though we're coming from like those two different, like she's more leading and I'm more follow focused. But still, we both have those same understandings of what it means to be dancers and what it means to be part of the community. Yeah, but that's kind of where we clicked, and we just kind of kept in touch afterwards. Shall I continue with the story?
Yes, go for it.
And then in February, like February 25th, actually, I was a little frustrated with the scene. Because of some, just it wasn't anything big in particular. It was like just small little things adding up, and me kind of realizing there is something wrong. Like I knew that there's something wrong with the community as a whole. I know that there's lots and lots of problems, but I was just like, this is bugging me. The attitude that men have towards the community, how they're organizing, how they're behaving as a whole, and I was like, I just kind of had a vision in the moment, and I just saw a room full of women dancing. No one waiting on the sides, just everybody having a good time. And in that moment, I kind of called PJ up, like right away. And I was like, PJ, we need to make this event happen. I want my vision to come to life. And you are the person that I want to do this with. You're the person who I think will believe in this with the same heart that I believe in it. And together, I think we can make it come to life. So afterwards, we kind of start like for the next day, we were literally like, oh my God, I can't stop thinking about this. I can't stop writing down my ideas. She was like sending me voice messages and text messages like nonstop for the rest of the night, the next day. And I was like, okay, we need to do a proper brainstorming session about this. And that's where it kind of all started. And then we had our first meeting, and the rest is history because, well, actually, no, it's about to be history because we're making it right now. So I guess to introduce a little bit of what the concept is, we are planning on creating an event that is exclusively and intentionally designed for the women of the Kizomba scene. We want to develop the female dancer at every single level, from the foundations of what it means to be a dancer, to the foundations of what it means to be a follow, to what it means to be expressing your inner self. So we want to build all of that in this one event. And through it, we want to create a safe space for women, not just to develop themselves and their dancing skills, but also to create a space where women can get to know each other without the competition of the Kizomba scene. And, you know, that idea that, okay, there's men around, that means that I want to dance with a man, not just a lead, but I want to dance with a man. And because of that, now I'm competing with the girl that's standing next to me for when this guy finishes his dance. And that actually doesn't allow the two of us to get to know each other and say, oh, you lead too? I lead too. Well, maybe we can actually have a really solid, awesome dance for the next 6 songs or however long it's going to be, instead of just waiting for this guy. Yeah. So through all of this, we want to, yes, create a safe space, develop the dancers, and create and build a community among all of the women that are spread around this entire world of Kizomba, and bringing them together to create connections like the one me and PJ made, in order to, you know, grow their individual communities and then bring what they learn and what they have unique to them and bring it to the rest of the world. And just grow as a whole community.
This is not just about one singular event that will be happening, but it is more of a movement that will try its best to change the way that women are seen in the Kizomba scene. This is going to be done through our social media, especially by providing women with a social media space that can really showcase the diverse community that we have, and the incredible talent, to be completely honest, of that women have in our community, and that Kizomba is not just about dancing tarashinha on the spot without seeing your face, but only, let's say, your butt. And we want to change that vision of the dance and really show that, you know, it's more of an art. It's a true skill and talent that these women have. And we want to also, you know, create a space where conversations are really brought to light, and discussed in a new way, so that we can move forward in a more positive way.
It would be so awesome, because when I think about like salsa and bachata, what they have is that they have these teams around the world, right? Like they have these lady styling teams and this and that, and they go and they compete and do all of this. And I think that because in the Kizomba scene we don't really have shows, that opportunity to be like in a team or in a group of ladies, either led by one female or just organized by your own training, doing all this, has kind of disappeared, or it doesn't really exist in our scene. And I definitely, when you started saying like, and these groups can then connect with each other and learn from each other and maybe travel to each other, I was like, oh my God, it's a global network of just groups of women. Like this could be so big. And you're just in the start of it. So it's so exciting. So which women, or is it for everyone, or is there like a certain target group? Like which women are you speaking to out there? What are some challenges that these women maybe face that your event is wanting to take care of, really?
Okay, so for the first event, we wanted exclusively for women, or for people who identify themselves as women. And by starting to talking with women, we just identified some problems that every woman are aware of, but they just consider it like, okay, that's it, that's like that, and we can't do a thing for it. And when there is events already for women, it's like, okay, you're gonna have a bunch of workshop, and that's it. Oh, this is for women. And for us, there was some piece that was missing out, and that was not, okay, this is for women, but this doesn't resolve the problem in the scene. So yeah, we wanted something that connects and say, okay, with this event, we want to solve the problem of the consideration of women. So the fact that the artists are not really right considered, there is not several spots for a woman artist, and they're always in the secondary plan. So we want them to know that they're not alone, and we all supporting each other. And so put them together also will create some links that they are not alone. And by this event, we want to spread the message that every woman is welcome. And by coming to our event, they will feel really safe and connecting to other women, to create some opportunity, then to work with others. And yes, the fact that building community is also growing together in the Kizombasen, and not growing a local community and doing all the stuff on my own, but there is another person here and she's doing the same work, but you can do the same work together. So yeah, first of all, we address it to women. And yes, we know that in this message, we want also to include men, because men can do their part by sending the same message that women has the same value of men in the Kizombasen. And so, yeah, that's something that we also want to bring to the scene. This is not doing an event against men, but an event for women, for them to evolve and improve themselves. And so indirectly, this is also an event for men to have better dancer and to have better partner, better teacher on the scene. Yeah.
It almost feels like it's not only going to be just workshops, but also an opportunity to network and really create connections that, yeah, as you say, like if I'm organizing something, that I could reach out to the people that I met in your event and be like, yo, you know, I'm doing this, can somebody help me, or do you want to support? Or but also so we can get that connection, because as we said before, otherwise we are just doing it for the male organizers or the leaders that we are dancing with, because those are the ones we know. So it sounds really dope. Can you maybe give a little bit of a teaser or trailer or something about what kind of subjects are going to be in it? And maybe a little bit about, yeah, what can we kind of expect without giving away too much?
Well, what can we expect? I mean, we have at the core of what we want to do, like we were talking earlier, is we want to develop the dancer. So we have a very high focus on quality teaching. And because of this, we actually kind of have an idea that we're going to have one stream of classes, of dance classes, where we're going to pair up teachers that we are booking to teach a class together. And they're actually going to start, like all of our teachers are going to work together to really create not just what content is going to be taught during these days and these classes, but also the order in which they will be taught, so that people aren't going in and they're kind of flooded with maybe the highest level information, which might be dance expression or leading technique, but we're bringing them in from the start and building up that understanding of it. And alongside of this, we understand that there's already people who have these bases, like this base of understanding of the dance, and they're talented, and maybe they're ready for the next steps of building their confidence and just kind of taking that next step into teaching or DJing. And so we want to create alongside this an opportunity for women to develop pedagogy for teaching, to understand what it is like to teach a class by yourself or with a partner. What are the challenges of it? How do you become a better teacher, or how do you even become a teacher in the scene, as well as a DJ? Because we know that there's a lot of females who are starting to DJ, but not everybody has that opportunity, even though they might want it. So we want to create an opportunity for them to kind of be introduced to it and know what do I need to do in order to get to that point. And then also having a sense of like discussions around, various topics, like a discussion panel with some of the community members, teachers, DJs, excuse me, other community builders like organizers, and bringing everyone into this panel and discussing these topics, so that they can really we can really get to some of the deeper problems and how we can solve them. And one of the things that we were mentioning with the problems that we're trying to solve, one of them is, yes, consideration of the women in the Kizomba scene. Another one is dancing. Like, we go to festivals and we don't spend a lot of time dancing sometimes, especially if you're maybe not familiar with a lot of the people, or you're maybe a little shyer. So what we're trying to do is create techniques. We're trying to build techniques that allow people to dance as often as they want to when they're attending events. So that means, yeah, okay, you're going to learn some leading techniques if you're open to it. Because when you know how to lead, it actually allows you to dance when you love the music, because you can dance with anyone. You're not having to wait on a person, or having to ask a guy and then being afraid, oh, is he going to say yes? And when you start asking women and you see that you're getting a positive answer, it becomes a lot easier to invite men as well when you feel like you want to dance. So we're kind of building the foundations of, getting women to dance a lot more in the scene when they do go to regular events that are being held. Another piece was actually the cost for value. So we are attending these events. Classes are maybe focused a lot on the lead, and you're not dancing a lot. So you're paying for this festival, but a lot of organizers are kind of bringing men in as taxi dancers or as guests. So they're coming in without even having to pay for these events. And us as women, we're having to pay for everything, and we're not getting the value for what we're paying. So one of the things that our event is trying to do is it's trying to bring that value back in for the women. Yes, we understand that, okay, maybe because we have all women, it might be that, we're not saying that the balance isn't going to be maybe a little off, But what we're saying is that there is an opportunity for you to try and step out of your comfort zone, try something courageous for yourself. And maybe even if you're just new and a little shy, you can still ask a lady to dance and see how that goes. And maybe you realize actually you really like being able to take control of the musicality of the dance, as I did when I first started. I was like, I was so frustrated that I was dancing these dances and I had almost no control, because I did not understand how to bring my musicality into it, but also because I wanted to really be a good follow, and I just wanted to follow really well. So when I realized, oh, wait a second, I want to lead. When I started leading, I then allowed myself to express my own musicality, and that gave me so much more freedom. So it will open up the doors a lot more in that respect for what we're trying to do.
Yeah, and I also love that when you actually lead, you realize what you maybe wish in your follower, and so you can translate that to yourself, as in like, oh, okay, when I lead this woman, she moves so softly and so fluid, like, oh, I wanna give a little bit of that to myself, and it's possible, obviously. And I always think it's so interesting when you dance woman to woman, that it becomes so, I don't know how to say it, it becomes so detailed oriented all of a sudden, that it's like, wow, okay, like this is a completely different dimension. She doesn't usually step huge or hard or this and that, but it needs to turn you into a fine tuner. And I really, really like that about dancing with women. It's creates a different feeling that we can bring in our own following, in our own leading, that we can maybe not always get from male leaders. So really good job, girls. And I am so excited to attend this event, to teach at this event. So can you also tell a little bit about which, like, if you can't say the names of the teachers yet, maybe you can say a little bit about what kind of instructors you want to bring to these women attending the event. What type of quality teaching are you looking for?
So we cannot speak about which teachers exactly we are taking on. But one thing that we do want to say is that the teachers that are going to be teaching this year will not be the same that will teach the following year, because we realize that there's so many amazing, talented women that we want to highlight, that it's really difficult to, it would be such a shame to only stick to one set of teachers for every year. And through the way that we want to approach this entire project is that leading up to the event, we actually want to bring in a lot of value to the community by collaborating with a variety of teachers and a variety of artists, DJs, and community builders, like organizers, everybody who's doing the work in their own way, and bringing that to the community through our platform and through crowdfunding that can potentially help us raise the funds to make this event really, really, really become something great. That being said, the quality type of teachers that we are looking at is we want to create a range of the beloved ones that we all know so well, while also bringing some new fresh faces that are bringing a different style, and just kind of having a blend of this. But at the core of everything, we are taking on teachers who really, really believe in what we're doing, which was the most important part to this. Like, we want the women who are teaching to put their heart into it and really give their best when they come and teach. And secondly, women who really have a vision of their own teaching style, their own pedagogy, and they have spent time refining this to some extent, at least for the older ones, definitely for the newer ones.
This is interesting, because it's always like, okay, what females are teaching what and in what way. So it's always going to be interesting to see every year then who are you going to bring and what themes, and everything of that can vary so much. So with that being said, when and where is this event going to take place?
Okay, suspense. We are planning the event for March 2023. So the weekend of 17, 18, and 19 of March is going to be 3 days with 3 parties, 2 social, and yeah, a lot of work talk. And a lot of talk also. And it's gonna happen in Netherlands because we think that the community in Netherlands has already started, and that's something we want to also lay on to boost the international community. And yeah, the Netherlands is a country really open-minded for this kind of event. This is also a hub in Europe, so we can bring artists from all over the world. And yeah, for us, we think that this is a good place to start.
And if people are, interested in seeing a little bit more what you are doing until March, where can people find you? And also, will you have some other promotional events coming up also throughout the year?
So you can find us at Wow Kizomba, wow.kizomba on Instagram, and also Wow Kizomba on Facebook. That is where we will have a lot of our content, and our Instagram page is going to be not just about this event. It's going to be about bringing value to the women. So giving tips, having awesome discussions about a variety of topics, highlighting the crazy amount of women in the community and everything cool that they're doing, highlighting, giving you some queenspiration on the side, because that's what we're all about, bringing you the queens of the Kizomba scene that inspire us, that inspire you, and just highlighting it in different ways. And this is already starting. So like the pages are already open. We will already be posting content. We've already posted content, but the real content is going to start up in the next week. So please go and follow the Instagram page for sure. For more event information, that is going to be a little bit more focused in the Facebook page. You can also find us on our Instagram pages or Facebook, I guess. For me, it's Bianca CMF, Bianca _CMF.
Yay!
And PJ?
PJ, it's PJ_.
And we will link everything in the description below. And I also want to say that when we talk about the WOW, is really the world of women, and it's so exciting to see this and to still be here, because there's a lot of women who unfortunately have already left the scene due to lack of community. And I really believe that what you're bringing now is right in time, but it's also about time, and it really has the potential to create that community that we don't have today, that global community that can really start talking, start connecting, start dancing, start growing. And I really see how WOW is a start of that. So I'm so excited for you guys. And I also would like to end up with a little fill in the gaps. And that is basically, I'm going to start of a sentence, and you ending up with one word or an end of a sentence of your choice. Are you girls ready?
Ooh la la.
Oh, yes.
Ooh la la.
I'm going to start with you, Bianca. So the first World of Women event, the first WOW event, is going to be all about
Bienveillance.
bienveillance. Okay, PJ.
And for those who don't know French, and for those who don't know French, bienveillance is a word that does not translate to English very well, but it means a sense of safety, a sense of homeliness, respect, caring, just like lifting each other up. So that's really that's the ambience, that's the atmosphere we want to create.
It's a homecoming, really.
Yeah, I like that a lot. Homecoming.
Homecoming for the queens.
Use that on our Instagram.
Yeah, please do. Okay, PJ. When I lead as a leader, I always try to make my follower feel.
I know how I feel when I follow PJ.
Yeah.
Feel free.
So one more time.
Feel free.
Feel free. I love that. All right. Bianca, as a follower, when I connect with my leader, I always want to bring
breath into the dance.
Ooh, I love that. Okay, PJ. When I hear a really good song, it physically makes me feel.
Thrills.
Nice. Yes. Ooh, I love that. And the last one, I think you both can say it. Where are we gonna meet you? In the count of 3, I want our word to scream out. Where are we gonna meet you in March 2023?
Wow.
Thank you so much, ladies. Everyone that is out there listening to this, please go in and follow wow.kizomba on Instagram and Facebook to see upcoming events. We're linking everything in the description below, and please catch these ladies on the dance floors because they are killing it out there. So see you soon. I can't wait to meet you and dance with you soon. Don't forget to click subscribe, comment below, and give us a rating or review. We have a Facebook page, YouTube page, and we are on Spotify, Google Podcasts, iTunes, and all the other podcast platforms. We also have an Instagram, so don't forget to tag us in your favorite episode and share it with the world because we read all of it.